Welcome to the AFR Saints channel, where we provide you daily content on your favorite team, the New Orleans Saints. Do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to leave your comments below and smash that like button. Who dat? Josh Edwards at CBS put out an NFL mock draft. He's got Will Campbell going number 4 to New England. Maybe the big news, and this is why Muse sent me this link earlier, he's got Mason Taylor in the first round.
Mason Taylor!
32 to Philly. I wouldn't be super shocked if Mason Taylor sneaks into round 1.
Mason Taylor!
We see that often every year. There's always guys who end up popping in round 1 that we didn't think would be, and there's always guys who seem to be a lock for round 1 that fall out. I mean, that's pretty common in every draft. Last year, Ricky Pearsall went 31 to San Francisco. He's a very good player at Florida and at Arizona State prior. We interviewed him at SEC Media Days. Good dude. Went through an awful situation where he was shot and came back in San Francisco. Came back to play in his rookie season, which is amazing. But nobody had him going round 1. Clyde was a big surprise going 32 to Kansas City in the 2020 draft, the last pick around 1. Go back to 2010, 15 years. Tim Tebow. This is a big controversial thing. Denver traded up to go get Tebow in the 20s. So, and there's always surprises in the draft. So it would not surprise me in the least that as much as Mason Taylor has risen in this process, that from what seemed like maybe an early day 3 to a day 2 pick, now you're looking at like high day 2. We've seen him mocked, Ross Jackson put out a mock earlier this week at Louisiana Sports.net where he had Mason Taylor mocked 40th to the Saints.
Mason Taylor!
So if there's a team that loves him at the end of round 1, that wouldn't surprise me at all. I mean, he's got great pedigree. His dad's a Hall of Famer. His uncle's a Hall of Famer. He's the best receiving tight end in the history of LSU football and continued to build himself physically into a really good blocker to where he's become at 250 pounds, 6'5", 250, the prototype of what the modern NFL tight end is. Someone who's big enough to move bodies and help you in the run game, but athletic enough to be a problem as a pass catcher. So, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Now, Philly might surprise me because they got Dallas Goedert. Like, it feels like you're pretty good at tight end. But, I don't know. But Muse sent this to me because of Mason Taylor in round 1.
Mason Taylor!
But you buried the lead, Muse. That's not the story in this mock draft. In Josh Edwards' mock draft over at CBS, he's got Shedeur Sanders going 9 to the Saints. So we are starting to see that more and more and more of Shadur slipping. Now, I don't have draft sources. I don't know anybody that's scouting film for the New England Patriots. I don't know the ownership group in Vegas to see what they're thinking about. I don't know. I'm reading reports like y'all are reading reports. So I keep seeing all the stuff about Shedur's draft stock slipping, and I'll tell you this much is something I've learned over my years of doing this, which is believe nothing but consider everything. But so much of the draft process, I do know, because I do know agents, is that they plant stories intentionally. Maybe you plant a story. That's why you always see these negative stories released on the eve of the draft. Player had a tweet 15 years ago, and it comes back to haunt. They're trying to get another player stock to drop to potentially increase their player stock, or they leak a story about a team's interest in their player to try to drive interest in their player. It's a game that's played. And so you don't know what smoke signal is actually real. So, but there's a lot of chatter about Shadur dropping. Now, I don't know that I really believe he's going to get to the Saints at 9. this is still a quarterback-centric and quarterback-needy league, and there are teams that I think would love to have Shedeur Sanders. I think the Giants at 3. It's hard for me to imagine the Giants not taking him at 3. And I understand they've got Jameis and they've got Russ. I get it. I mean, I know where they are, but you have an opportunity in New York, in that market, to add Deion's kid. I mean, it makes too much sense that would happen. But I'm going to continue to say it. If Shadur is there at 9 and the Saints pick him, I'd be over the moon. I think he's got a lot to like. From the pedigree to the productivity in college to getting the hell kicked out of him at Colorado the last 2 years and never complaining about it. Clearly, he has a great football-centric system and a sports system with his family. I mean, I would love it if Shadur ended up in New Orleans at 9. I would not be okay trading up, but you're starting to see it more and more. Not the Saints trading up, just Shadur falling to 9 and the Saints pulling the trigger there. I think that, for me, through the Saints lens, thinking about the draft coming up 3 weeks from today, that for me is the most intriguing storyline. Because at 9, with all the needs the Saints have, again, you could pick darn near any position on the board and we'll be thrilled about it. Because you're picking top 10 and you need everything. So whatever you get, you're going to get a good player at a position of need. So you're going to check that box. But one time in their history, once have they taken a quarterback in round 1. We've talked about it a bunch. Archie Manning, 1972. So it hasn't happened in my lifetime. That was a decade before I was born. I'm 42 years old. I was born in 1982. It had been a decade when I was born since the Saints drafted Archie Manning. So it's been a long time, y'all. It's been 50 years since the Saints have drafted a quarterback at the first round. So, yeah, if they pull the trigger on Shadur at 9, I'd say that's a pretty giant storyline if he's there, so we'll follow it. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.